This video is sponsored by you. Links to support the channel are in the description, along with the Discord, which you should join. Arknights' most hated YouTuber here, yeah, whatever, let's cut to the chase. Something sinister is happening at Hypergriff offices, like a demon of good game design suddenly took hold of the premises. First, it was Monster showing up with amazing quality of life for chain medics. Then Exialter drops with arguably the best designed operator kit in the entire game, while being a geek, which was on no one's bingo card. And finally, they've been on a roll with modules as well. Mine are, purely mathematically speaking, now deals more DPS than Wishadel in optimal conditions. Thorns gets true damage DOT, let me tell you, they don't call him the BBC King for nothing, and believe it or not, they actually fixed Crownslayer. This is not the same Hypergriff that gave us Vigil skill 2. Who are you people?
SUPAH from the future here. I want to specify that there isn't much footage of Crownslayer Module Y on YouTube, and I ain't going to Bilibili, which means that I had to record some footage myself in IS5. Keep in mind, this footage is not representative of her actual capabilities, as Crownslayer is using performance-enhancing drugs, in the way of having like 60 relics applied to her. I shouldn't have to specify this, but the average YouTube commenter is impressively stupid.
In case you missed it, Crownslayer's new module extends stun on enemies who haven't hit her, and since her skill tree makes her almost untouchable, she can perma-stall up to 3 enemies for 16 seconds. The module also gives her a solid damage boost. I'm willing to argue she's now a legit elite killer. Most elites aren't stun immune, so she can stall and either kill or seriously damage them. In other words, on a 42% uptime, for comparison that fucking Lizard has 54%, she can perma-stall 3 targets while actually dealing pretty solid damage to them.
Guess who's back again? There is a specification about the Crownslayer skill tree, and that is the fact that if there are more than 3 enemies, that is a problem. Because now Crownslayer will cycle between all of them, which means it's no longer a perma-stun. It's still kind of okay-ish, but yeah, keep that in mind.
It's not Texas, also known as the Italian coming of Christ, but that's genuinely good for Crownslayer. So why are so many of you being negative Nancy's? And I know that is rich coming from me of all people, but some of y'all will be presented with literally everything Crownslayer needed, giving her a real, actual, tangible and useful niche, and some fucking Redditor is still gonna come up like, well, actually, SUPAH, she's really still not that good. You see— Shut the fuck up! And yes, that means that hilariously, my correction in the correction video about there being an argument for Carnelian being better than Crownslayer is now in itself incorrect. She's definitely not the worst 6-star. And dare I say, dare I make a courageous statement, she's out of the bottom 10 completely. But before we continue, I must ask you, dear viewer, have you ever wanted a huggable, soft, warm body pillow of Crownslayer with huge tits, thick thighs, and a fat fucking futa cock? I imagine a lot of you started shouting yes at the screen. Well, lucky you, friend of the channel Lonely Pillow just had a huge store update, including a Crownslayer body pillow made specifically for this video. This thing has been in the works for at least 2 months now. The artist worked incredibly hard on it. So make sure to appreciate this properly. She has, count them, 14 variants, including a dildo face mask, heart eyes, the futa-cock, and a horse-cock. Don't worry, if you don't appreciate huge penises, there are normal vagina body pillows for you to consume. I don't support the lifestyle choice of being straight in 2025, but the option is there. But that's not all. In the partner covers section, you can find Ulpianus as well. As a reminder, the store also offers Scadi Altar, Bridal Wishadel, Whislash with a horsecock, of course, Madrock, and Sutra in the partners section. There's also Toru, yes, the invisible girl from MHA, and plenty other goodies. Here's some reviews. 10 out of 10 for comfy material. Color is stunning on the duckies. Perfect communication for inquiries and commissions. 10 out of 10. This will be the first and only place I will buy duckies from. Great selection of amazing artists, especially for futa lovers like me. It's so fucking soft! It literally came in yesterday and I love it! So high quality and soft, and the artist did amazing! You may notice kind words about the materials. Well, they just updated, and now they're softer than ever. Go to the description to get a fat fucking futa-cock pillow for yourself. Or one with a vagina if you're lame. Let's look at it. At my irrefutable top 10 worst 6 stars in the game, that is objective and you can't refute. She's better than Carnelian, duh, because Carnelian is quite possibly the single greatest example of Murphy's Law we have in this game. You can watch the actual top 10 for more info, but it's like, just when you think she can't get any worse, she inexplicably does. Better than Eunectes, because Crownslayer's role is unique, and also far easier to actually, do, compared to Eunectes, which has a user experience on par with filling out a job application.
Hello, SUPAH from the future here. This big, dumb, stupid idiot forgot to mention something. Now that Crownslayer has her new module, there is a new combo with Eunectes that you can do to perma-stall enemies. As in, perma-stall. As shown in this Kokok Beluk video that I am shamelessly using for background footage, Eunectes skill 2 stuns all blocked enemies for the entire duration of the skill. Now, it just so happens that Crownslayer skill 3 is long enough to allow Eunectes skill 2 to charge and be activated again. And it just so happens that Eunectes skill 2 lasts long enough to let Crownslayer be redeployed. In other words, you can keep an enemy stuck in the Shadow Realm forever by alternating Eunectes skill 2 and Crownslayer skill 3.
Better than Fartooth, since the vast majority of stages literally do not have a functioning tile for skill 3, and skill 2 is really lackluster. Better than Magallan, because be for real with me, okay? Look at me in the eyes. When was the last fucking time you felt like using Magallan? Ah, yes, the optimal strategy here is to put down a shitty drone, potentially wasting a deployment slot instead of a normal operator. Better than Holheyak, because Crownslayer's stall is much better, and because straight up she deals more DPS, though less total damage in one full skill cycle, and because Holheyak has many more direct replacements compared to Crownslayer. Shining's not comparable, entirely different roles. If Shining and Crownslayer were two circles of a Venn diagram, they'd be in different rooms. But if I had to give my ultimately correct opinion, Shining is way easier to replace, and her unique niche is inherently flawed, only finding real use in specific middle grounds, where enemy damage outpaces your healing, but isn't quite high enough to just ignore Shining outright, making Crownslayer overall better. Better than Siege, because Siege has not had a genuine use since 6 fucking years ago when Myrtle released, making all early game lane holders obsolete, as, say it with me, you let Myrtle ponder the apple and you enter sandbox mode, where any operator of your choosing can be used earlier. Better than Dusk, because Crownslayer stalls way better now, and using Dusk for damage is depressing. Better than Vigil, because Crownslayer stalls better compared to his skill 1, deals more damage compared to his skill 2, seriously, what the fuck is this graph, and while being more comfortable to use compared to his skill 3. Though, I will say, Crownslayer is not capable of producing 2 DP. That is something unique to Vigil. Regarding the honorable mentions in that list, Ebenholz barely does anything. Even with Module Delta, he struggles to output competitive DPS, and he's very clunky to use. Lessing has a cool little niche, but nothing else in his kit to actually do anything with it. He counters abnormal statuses, but then can't really do much afterward. Finally, we have Chen Guard, which is a glorified Thorns battery. Crownslayer deals more DPS and total damage than her skill 2, and more total damage than her skill 3. So, I am happy to report, Crownslayer is actually pretty good now. But, as an average player, does this mean you now should build Crownslayer? Not really. You see, she got the Spectre Alter special. Just like her, Crownslayer needs a heavy investment to be good. A decent level, skill tree, mastery tree, and most importantly, module Y at level 3. That is quite the steep material cost. Materials that, truthfully, you should probably spend somewhere else. As good as she now is, as much as they truly did fix Crownslayer, maybe use those materials somewhere else. Without being complete dogshit, Crownslayer has no punchline. Now she's just a good operator that isn't quite good enough to justify the material costs to get there. And perhaps this is worse. And that's all. Max out your Gummy. Bye. Well, if it isn't the outro. Here's the channel members and Patreons. They're so cool. I bet they are really attractive. I'd kiss them on the lips if I had them in front of me, unless they're minors. Anyway, special thank you to Living Shad, QX10, Ichigods, Boreas, Mr. Lair, That Animal Raptor, Good Old Leon, Seishin, Joseph D, Matthew Nemo, Zephyrinix, Nupo, Lortachio, Lizard King, Nemotic, Nordrage, Andre Mula, Make Reguera, Jixter, Giorgio, That Guy with Two Names, Light Nero, Maxi Ossess, The King of Harems, Kevin McGuire, and Chromachan but JJF. That's all. I don't have a funny quip this time. You can't expect a funny quip out of me every time, you know. I don't know, man.